welcome to a second installment of the Collector's Corner. My name is David de la Cruz, and I'll be speaking with one of our longtime customers here at the shop, Michael Parker, and he'll be here to discuss some of his prize collections, and among them will be the collection of one of his favorite superheroes, which is Captain America. Michael, what can you tell us about this X-Men #1? How did you come by this X-Men #1? Is this one of the cornerstones of your collection, or
Yes.
how did you do that?
Yes, it is. I obtained this locally. It was not graded at the time. It had a nice water stain here. I had it pressed and cleaned locally. Just recently sent this off, and it came back at a 3. I was very happy with that, and that is part of my cornerstone collection.
This is a great example of a long-time comic that's, you think it's kind of beat up and kind of worthless to some because of the condition, but once you get it to a professional cleaner and a professional pressing place, you get this, and instead of it being a 1.5, it's now a 3.0. So if you have a professional that knows what he's doing and you submit this, the 3.0 may not make much of a difference to those that have a much higher grade, but for those that obtain a lesser grade, the price just escalates. It really does, especially with the X-Men #1. You have a first appearance of not only the X-Men, but of Magneto. Magneto is the arch foe and sometimes friend of the X-Men. This is just a great copy, old school copy. As we move on to the next one that you have, the next #1 is one of my favorites as a youngster, the Avengers #1. It's graded at a 2.5, and although it's a #1, there was no first appearances of each of the individual characters here, but they got a group of characters together that were just starting out in the early Marvel Universe. They put them together, the Hulk, Iron Man, old school armor as you can see, Thor, and Ant-Man and Wasp, and you got a great cover there that's been paid homage to over and over again. What can you tell us about this Avengers #1, Mike?
This one I bought as part of a collection. It was right after Hurricane Katrina. There was a nurse in Louisiana. He had issues 1 through 10 and 10 through 20, except he did not have issue #4. This was a bidding war, basically, but in the end, I won both lots.
Wow.
1 through 10 minus #4, I paid $300.
What investment? That's a great
Issues number 10 through 20, I paid about $225, if I remember. This was not graded. Along with the X-Men #1, I had that pressed and cleaned at the same time. Sent these both off, and it came back a 2.5. And I was extremely pleased with that because I thought it would receive a much lesser grade, and I'm very happy with that.
And once again, for you viewers here, if you take it to a professional press and cleaning agency here, this is what you can get. Again, a 2.5 may not sound like a very high grade, but when you first looked at this book, what did you think? Figured maybe a 1?
A 1. It's got some tears, and then when you look on the back, it's off. The cover's like, it doesn't align with the pages. It's brown.
Road spine somewhat.
It's got road spine, but when I sent it to get pressed and cleaned, the actual spine roll came out very nicely.
That's great.
Flattened out, so I was extremely happy with that. When I saw them raw, I said, hey, I'm happy as it was. But when I got them back from the graders, I was even happier.
This is great. This is great. Now, we're talking about one of my favorite all-time comic book group heroes here, the Avengers. He made his beginning, his first start in 1940, and predominantly was used as a fighting tool against the Germans and against Japan. But once the war was over, Captain America, along with most comic book heroes, including Superman and Batman and whatnot, kind of just floundered around. Who are they going to fight now? So in the 50s, he was reduced to fighting just regular street crime, and he was no longer as popular as he once was. So he faded off for quite a number of years, And then with this book, back in 1963, Stan Lee decided, let's give Captain America a shot. You can see the different color shield, the different color shorts, a little bit darker, but if you looked inside, he actually wore red shorts, and it was just a trial to see what the fan base would, how they would react. And sure enough, letters started pouring in. So the next one we see is Steve Rogers, the original, back in the comic book life again. And this is his very first appearance, the Resurrection. And this is a 9.0, slightly restored Avengers number 4. This is what began the second life, if you would, of Captain America. It's an awesome Jack Kirby cover, awesome Jack Kirby art, just a legend. Him and Joe Simon, Kirby and Simon Studios, they came up with this great character that's still extremely relevant today, whether it's in the movies or in the comic books. What can you tell us about this particular issue there, Mike?
I love this book simply because it has a lot of characters in there that I really love. Submariner, Iron Man, but especially Captain America, since they brought him back from the Golden Age. This one I purchased out of San Antonio. It was another bidding war, and I won that bidding war with a gentleman, and I've been happy with it ever since. I picked this up about maybe 2.5 years ago. The last time I looked to see what this was going for, because it is restored, there's going to be a slight decrease in the value, but still, I saw a 9 restored last year that was, they were trying to sell for about 10 grand. Whether it's sold or not, I don't know, but I don't plan on selling it. I'm just going to keep it.
Yeah, just a great addition to the collection there. And a lot of the books got restored because back in the day, a lot of these Marvel comic books, they had a lesser quality paper, and throughout the years, that paper started to get brittle along the edges, and it was known as marble chipping. So a lot of that marble chipping, if you looked at some of these comics, and most of you longtime collectors know exactly what marble chipping is, it didn't make the comic book look that appealing to the eye, so they would go ahead and they would try to cut off that marble chipping. And I'm not sure if this is one of those cases, but nonetheless, minor restoration, whatever that minor is, an excellent example of an Avengers number 4 with Captain America. From here, Captain America went on to star with the team up with Tales of Suspense with Iron Man. And after Iron Man, the last issue, we introduced this, Captain America number 100, which after the Tales of Suspense run, Iron Man went with his own issue number 1. Captain America kept going with the same numeration, number 100. As you can see, this is their version of, Marvel's version rather, of Captain America number 1. And something very peculiar about this. What is there some kind of a writing on there? What is that?
That's signed by the man, Stan Lee.
Stan the Man Lee. That's 9.2 signature series. That's great. What can you tell us about this?
Well, this is not my original copy. When I was 12, my mom would give me $1 every Friday, and I would go down to the corner store. We lived in Chicago, and I would buy either 8 or 9 comics, whatever I could get for $1. Most of them were Marvel's comics. I had at least 3 or 4 copies of this issue, but this is the only graded copy that I have. And this was actually a birthday gift from my girlfriend, who is still my girlfriend.
Wow.
And I am...
What a girlfriend. That's a keeper.
That was a big surprise when she brought it to me and said, happy birthday. I love the cover. I love the story. I love the signature. I mean, I really collect mainly because I love the books. I don't look at the actual value, and I'm just happy with what I have.
Yeah, this is great. So we have a little trifecta here of all the Captain America in its stages that led to the Marvel Age. Let me hold these up. That led to his resurrection in the Silver Age. This is some great additions. Mike, I'd like to thank you.
Welcome.
And thank you so much for sharing your collections. It's just an awesome collection, and I'm a huge Captain America fan. So, gosh, all of these I wish I had in my collection, folks. Until next time, this is David. Thank you.
Have a good day.